Hello, my name is Molly, and this is my lovely assistant, Chris. So we're going to be doing the assignment 2, the soft skill development role play. All right, Chris. So what I want to talk to you today is about your work experiences. So first of all, how would you see that limited time has impacted the workplace for you?
Limited time impacting the workplace. Well, I think all of us have that situation where we have more stuff to do than what we know what to do with or what have time to do with, and that's a challenge always, because it just always seems like there's not enough hours in the day, days in the week, or anything like that to get everything that we think that we want done.
I understand. And what have you done to kind of adapt to that previously?
Oh, that's a fun one, because it's a hard one too, because I'm the type of personality where I like to get everything done that's supposed to get done, period.
Gotcha.
And have it finished at the end of the day, and that doesn't work ever.
Okay.
So it's a lot about prioritizing things, maybe. A list helps me sometimes.
Gotcha.
Different things like that. So it's a little hard to do.
So do you feel stressed then when you go at home and you don't have all of your work done for the day because you don't feel like you've had enough time?
Oh, yes, greatly. And then sometimes I feel like I have to pop open the laptop at night to work to catch myself up.
And we shouldn't have to do that, right?
Even though catching myself up's in my head, maybe.
Okay. So maybe together we can work on looking at, you said you make lists, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we can,
I don't always go by them.
Okay, so that could be a number one. Let's look at the lists and see how we can prioritize those lists better.
Mm-hmm.
And then why don't we you and I will work together, because if I don't want you to feel like you're overloaded, and I don't want you going home feeling stressed. So let's you and I come up with a plan where when you're feeling overwhelmed, you come and you tell me about it, because I don't want you to feel that way.
Okay.
And then what we'll do is we're going to work off of lists together, and we're also going to see who else on the team can help, just to make sure that all the work does get done in the time needed, but that you're not too overworked with it.
Okay.
Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. And this kind of goes with that. Do you feel like, tell me how too much work has impacted your workplace for you?
Oh, too much work?
Yeah.
Well, you're my boss. I'm not supposed to give you too much work. But too much work. I think sometimes I create too much work. Mm-hmm. That's where, going back to the first one, those lists will probably help of me prioritizing what's really important and what's not important. But it just causes stress. It causes me, anxiety. It causes me to potentially miss time with family and activities and stuff, because I think I need to get stuff done.
Okay. So could you anticipate this situation in the future of what you could do to kind of make that a better situation for you?
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
In the future.
So let's say you come in and you have a ton of work on the desk, and you have stuff with your family this weekend. Mm-hmm. What do you think you could do to adapt to that?
I think I've got to figure out, one, what I can get done in reality, and making sure those things are the right things to get done. Okay. Because sometimes I can meander off on a path that still is important, but not as important as getting somebody the priorities done. Okay. And then I do have a problem with giving up control. Okay. And, of asking the other people on the team to help. Okay. I'd rather do it myself, which is not a good thing.
So it sounds like maybe we need to work on your communication, so with me and the team, so that we know how you're feeling and where you're at with that. And you also do kind of need to learn to ask for help. And just, it's teamwork. We are a team here. Now, this might sound like I'm adding work to you, but I'm not. What I want you to try to do is think of ideas that you think that we can make the workplace work more efficiently. Because you just doing the same amount of work over and over again doesn't seem to be working for you, because you're feeling very stressed about that. So maybe we can take a little time each day where you can kind of think of a different process where we can implement that. I want to make sure to be able to work with you, and we can see you're a part of the team, and you're a leader on the team. So we need to make sure to work together. Okay. Do you think you can do that for me?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, awesome. How about tell me a little bit about, and don't worry, you're not telling on people or anything. How are other people not doing their work in the workplace? How does that impact you?
Oh, it can impact greatly. I think the old adage of, 20% of the people do 80% of the work.
Yeah.
I think it holds true in a lot of cases. I think sometimes I want to blame people for not doing their work, and, it's putting more stress on me and everything like that.
Right.
Sometimes, I got to step back and think, well, maybe they don't know how. Because, again, I don't like to delegate.
Right.
So, I don't like to give stuff away.
Right.
And sometimes when I give stuff away, I might not necessarily tell them the best way to do it and things like that. But, I mean, there are, and you see it around, the office here. Mm-hmm. There are slackers,
right.
And everything. And I've got to learn, too, that everybody works at their own pace.
Correct.
While that pace may be something we should expect, we've got to make sure they know, I guess, what that is and things.
Well, if we're looking at the soft skills side of things, mm-hmm. how would you feel about approaching a coworker about how quickly they're working? Does that stress you out? Does that cause you anxiety? Are you comfortable with that? How would you feel about having a conversation with a coworker about their efforts on the team?
I think I'd be fairly comfortable with that.
Okay.
I always think too, you don't ever know what that person may be going through, or mm-hmm. what they may be stressed about.
Right.
So that might be impacting. So it's it's getting that fine line between coworker and friend, and
right.
and getting them to know when it's at work, let's be the team and do the work and everything. So I think I could talk to people and coach some people. Okay. And if not, I could tell you which ones
right.
I
right.
don't feel comfortable,
right.
or I may need some help of so I don't go and just yell at them or
right.
something like that. You can help me of, okay, how do I approach this person?
Right.
Because everybody's so different.
Exactly. So we can work together on coaching and things like that, because I want to see you move into a leadership position here. So with that, we need to work on the soft skills. We need to learn how to have those tough conversations with people. And right now you might not be in that role, but that doesn't mean that you can't offer peer-to-peer advice. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that you can't have those conversations with them. You need to make sure that you have it in not of a, roar way. You need to get in there, have a caring conversation. My thing is I treat people like people, you mm-hmm. know? You need to have conversations. You need to care about what's going on with them. You mentioned you don't know what's going on in their life. Mm-hmm. So have those conversations with them, and then you're going to get in a better spot where you guys can kind of work together as a team.
Yeah.
Okay? Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. And this kind of goes along with that. And I'm not sure, 100% sure. I know there's sometimes some conflict, but how can conflict among employees impact your workplace?
A conflict, it can be totally detrimental. I mean, you can be going along well, and then if all of a sudden, there's a short instance of conflict, or most of the time there's not short instances of conflict, it right. goes and goes and goes.
Right.
Then it just usually creates, that tension, that stress.
Right.
It creates, lost time for everybody, because then other people get involved that aren't supposed to be involved. Drama. Yeah, it's like middle school all over again sometimes.
All right. So it sounds like with that, we need to be more collaborative. We need to work together. I think as soon as we see that conflict, it needs to be brought to my attention. I don't want to be the person that's always breaking up conflicts or things like that. I'd like the team to, mm-hmm. Work together. But what I want to do is have, weekly meetings, one-on-ones, everything like that, so we all know where we are and to overcome any conflicts that we have. I also want the whole team, like I mentioned earlier, to stop, think of new ideas. How can we implement them better? For you specifically, we need to look at your workload. So what can we do? I know that, Kimberly can help you with some of your Excel spreadsheets mm-hmm. and things like that. So you need
That'd be wonderful.
Right. So you need to learn to give up some of that responsibility, even though it'll be painful for you. Mm-hmm. I think it'll learn, and you'll be better to adapt in the workplace with that. Anything else that I can work with you now, do you think? Or
no, I think all that sounds great, and the list, and I think helping me with just prioritizing what's important.
Okay.
Not only for the company and the organization, but for me too.
Okay.
To help me get there, because it's been a really good conversation. You've told me you want me to be the leader, and I look forward to working with you to become that leader.
Awesome. And we're going to start working with this, like I said, weekly meetings. We're going to work on all of those things together so that you can help grow in the company and you can help us be positive as a team.
Sounds great.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Molly.